Assalamualaikum class 6. Today we'll start our second chapter, Rip Van Winkle. Take out your books and open page number 19. Firstly, I'll read the chapter and you listen to me attentively and underline the difficult words, and then you will find out the meaning yourself. Do them in your copy neat and clean. Through WhatsApp, we'll give you date for getting your copies checked. In a little village of America, there lived many years ago a man called Rip Van Winkle. He was gentle and kind, and the people of the village liked him because he was always willing to run errands. Underline the word run errand. And do little jobs for them. The children shouted with glee. Underline the word glee when Rip came along, for they knew that he liked nothing better than to take part in their games. He made toys for them and taught them to fly kites and to play marbles. Often he would sit in the cool shade of a tree and tell them fine tales of Indians and witches and fairies. Now class, come to the next page, page number 20. One thing made Rip unhappy, and that was work. Rip hated hard work. For that reason, he was very poor, and his wife and children were always hungry and ill-clad. Underline the word ill-clad. His little farm too was badly kept. Weeds grew all over it. The fences were broken down, and his cows were always going astray. Underline the word go astray. Day after day, Rip's wife, Dame Van Winkle, would scold. Underline the word scold. Her husband, idle. Underline the word idle. Good for nothing fellow. She would cry, "Why can't you do a little work on your farm instead of playing with the village children or lying sleeping?" Not a word would Rip say in reply. Underline the word reply. Instead, he would go to the village once more and wait there until his wife's temper, underline the word temper, had cooled again. One day, when everything had gone wrong, Dame Van Winkle scolded Rip more than she had ever done before. This time her husband did not go to the village as usual. Taking his gun upon his shoulder and calling his faithful dog Wolf to go with him, he set off, underline the word set off, to wander among the woods and hills. Now come to the next part on page number 22. Before long, Rip Van Winkle had climbed high up on the hillside. How quiet it was there! Rip lay down on a grassy bank and rested there till late in the afternoon. As the sun was setting, Rip rose to go home. "Come, Wolf," he said to his dog, "let us go home now. Perhaps," underline the word perhaps. Dame Van Winkle's temper has cooled by this time, though I fear, underline the word fear, that she may have something to say to us for staying away so long. Underline the word stay. They were beginning to walk down the hill when a voice cried out, Rip Van Winkle. Now class, come to the next page, page number 23. Rip looked all round. At first he saw nothing but a crow. Then he spied, underline the word spy, a long way off, a strange little man with a cadge upon his shoulder. Rip Van Winkle, Rip Van Winkle, the voice called out again. Rip walked across the hillside until he came near the man. Did you call, sir? He asked in wonder. The man did not reply. Instead, he made a sign as if to say, Pray carry this heavy cadge up the hill for me. Now Rip, though he was idle in his own home and did not care for hard work, was always ready to help other people. So he took the cadge upon his shoulder and both men began to trudge, underline the word trudge, up the hill. After a little while they came to a hollow among the hills. There Rip saw a crowd of men. Come to the next page, page number 25. They were playing a game of ninepins, and the balls, as they rolled along, made a noise like thunder. Underline the word thunder. Strange men they were, too. One had a large head, a broad face, and small eyes. Another had a face which seems to be all nose. The leader was a fat old fellow with a sunburned face. He wore a lace jacket, a broad belt, a sword, a high hat with a feather in it, red stockings, and high-heeled shoes. As soon as the players saw the catch, they stopped their game. The little man who had come with Rip opened the catch, and from it he poured out a drink for each of the others. He made a sign to Rip to hand out the cups. The men drank eagerly, underline the word eagerly, for their game had made them thirsty. Then back they went to their game of ninepins. Rip was thirsty, underline the word thirsty, too, but they did not think of giving him a drink. So when no one was looking, Rip took one sip from the catch. Now class, come to the next page, page number 26. A good drink, to be sure, he whispered, underline the word whisper, to himself. Then he took a little more and then a little more. Before long, Rip began to feel quite drowsy, underline the word drowsy. Then he fell fast asleep. Now class, come to the third part on page number 27. When Rip Van Winkle awoke, he found himself still on the green hillside. He rubbed his eyes, for it was a bright sunny morning. The birds were hopping and chirping, underline the word chirp, among the bushes, and an eagle was flying high above his head. Why, I must have slept all night, thought Rip. He looked round for the men who had been playing ninepins, but they were not to be seen. His dog Wolf had vanished, underline the word vanish, too, but his gun was still lying beside him. Rip was surprised to see that it was eaten away with rust and almost falling to pieces. Rip stood up, lifted his rusty gun, and went to look for the man whom he had seen the night before. They have played some mean tricks. Underline the words mean and trick. On me, said he in anger. I shall give them what they deserve. Underline the word deserve. For an hour or more, Rip hunted among the hills and valleys, but he could find neither the queer little man. Underline the word queer. Now class, come to the next page, page number 28. Queer little man, not the place where they had played their games. At last, feeling very tired and stiff, underline the word stiff, he set off for the village. I expect that Tam Van Winkle will half kill me for staying out all night, he said as he trudged along. When Rip reached the village, there were more surprises for him. The shops were strange and the houses had changed. Rip did not know the people whom he met in the village street, and their clothes were of a kind which he had never seen. Children laughed and the dogs barked at him as he walked along. To tell the truth, it was no wonder that they did, for Rip's beard had grown very long and his clothes were tattered. Underline the word tattered and torn. Now class, come to the next page, page number 29. At last Rip cried out to the people who stared at him, "Does nobody here know me? I am Rip Van Winkle." Just then a young woman came along. "Did you say Rip Van Winkle?" she said. "My father was called by that name. One day when I was a little girl, he went away to the hills with his dog Wolf and his gun. His dog came home without him, but my poor father has not been seen that day." "How long ago was that, my good woman?" asked Rip. "Full 20 years ago," she answered. 20 years, cried Rip. "Then I must have slept for 20 years on the hillside, though it seemed but one night to me. I am your father, Rip Van Winkle," he cried to the young woman. Now come to the next page, page number 31. The little man who played ninepins must have been ferryman, Rip explained afterwards, and drink which I took from the catch must have been a magic one that sent me to sleep for 20 years. Tam Van Winkle had died while Rip was away, and Rip's house had fallen down, so he went to live with his daughter. The rest of his days he spent in peace, telling stories to the village children, and we may be sure that they were better stories than ever.